We are live.
Welcome to Delusions of Automotive Grandeur live. Some people when they start live streams, they actually like wait 5 minutes with the theme song and then they start to
Nah.
build up anticipation in crowds. Anyway, welcome to Delusions of Automotive Grandeur. That's Charlie. That's Brent. That's me, Steven. And we are right now talking about SR71s and basically combining weird chemicals without an ignition source to help restart flameouts of engines. In other words, things that relate directly to your motor car, street car. And right now, Charlie is going to tell us a little bit potentially
No,
because he's had
definitely not.
all of 30 seconds to prepare and is now totally ready to
Yeah.
tell us about sometimes how they would start jet engines on the ground using classic cars.
Oh man, I'm just gonna wing this one.
Doesn't
Fuck
have
it,
to
we'll do
be,
it live.
yeah.
There's better articles out there that are more well researched, but you're not there, so you're gonna listen to me. Yeah. So a lot of these engines have such high. A lot of these like jet engine systems have such high compression, you can't just start them with an electric starter, or as Stephen rightly pointed out, like if they're way too high up in the atmosphere, they can't just, if they have a flare out, they can't restart a motor midair. So usually there's some type of external starter, whether that's a chemical starter, like Stephen was pointing out with the SR71. I think it's a hypochlorite, maybe, is what you were looking for.
There's something.
I haven't looked it up, but that's the what you were describing was closer to that. Um, but some of the, I think it was SR71s, or like the X15 and all these other rocket uh, X vehicles had external starter engines, usually looking like old school muscle cars, engine blocks on a cart. They would hook them up and get them to turn over that way, which was always really cool. Or they would have you might also be aware of like actual shotgun starters where they,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's always a good one too. Where
There's it was the Grumman Wildcat and Grumman. I don't think the Hellcat had it, but the Wildcat had it. It was like a big old shotgun slug, maybe like an inch or two in diameter and about three
yep,
inches long. And some of the guys that had those classic planes, they found some new old stock ones. It's not exactly something that's reproduced, and they found new old stock ones. It was a little scary to put in their multi-million-dollar plane and try it, but it does still work. It's pretty amazing. It's hypergolic. Is that what I was trying to say? Does that make more sense, Charlie?
yeah, sure, why not?
It's Hypergolic propellant.
Okay,
Components spontaneously ignite when they contact each other.
cool.
Like Brent's love and biological attraction to black cars
Said if
is
he see
hypergolic.
So if he
It's
comes
just
into contact with him, he bursts into flames and
yes,
explodes.
his passion spontaneously ignites just on seeing black cars, and that's why he buys them. He doesn't get gray ones, or was it
Hmm.
gray? Honestly, the best things about this
Silver.
joke is I really don't remember what the color of any of these cars
Nah,
were.
it's fine. You're just rolling with it.
Okay. So here's some examples of hypergolic fuels, which is totally relating to cars and why people are here. Um, Dinitrogen tetroxide plus hydrazine or monomethylhydrazine and
I
unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine.
So
Sure.
hydrazine, just catching that actually reminded me of that's a wonderful fun fuel that used to make its way into the drag racing world.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's actually I believe it is hydrazine that was a notorious additive um, for drag racing, and it was one of those things wherein you would, it's like think of like nitrous but worse or better depending on how you look. It's
Better. I
like
think it's better.
it's well, asterisk, big asterisk. Let's see, hold on. Disclaimer, warning: do not put hydrogen into any type of fuel system that you may come into contact with, as you are likely to blow yourself up. um, because the thing about hydrogen is the bits that aren't reacted fully
Mm-hmm.
would end up crystallizing in the motor, like inside the like you dump it in similar to nitrous, like in an air intake.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that's not combusted all the way would form crystals of a slightly different hypogolic type mixture, or not even hypogolic because it's technically waiting for another pressure change, but it would basically combust upon like a small like shock wave. Um,
Whoa.
so instead of having the explosion be inside your actual engine cylinder doing the proper job, it might be before the.
Oh, it's just your intake would just go poof.
So your intake or
Yeah.
any number of places, and suddenly you have fuel leaks combined with basically it's like I think I'm trying to remember. I think it's oxygen scavenging, so it's like carrying extra oxygen into where it's supposed to be. So those crystals would basically suddenly start scavenging more oxygen, build a massive explosion. But it was one of those things of you could, I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was another one of those World War II. We'll use the word innovation here lightly. Feel bad about using that word for that. But I want to say it was essentially a jet fuel additive for developed in Germany by the baddies. And yeah, that's.
I think it was. I think I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about. There was a few things that they used to have. Like I know. I think some of the water injection stuff that BMW might even still use was developed during World War II.
Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff they were trying to get everything they could out of piston engines.
Right. Oh, hydrogen's also notorious. If you ever see in drag racing, if you ever go back and like watch some old videos and you see green flames out of the exhaust,
oh,
that's a dead giveaway for
burning green.
Yeah, there's
wow. Okay.
Like if you search hydrazine plus drag racing on Google search, it's nothing but like lethal explosions, like all these like old school motorheads talking about it, and it's like, great, this is cool. Like, let's not use this ever again. Great.
Well, so I think we should.
I was going to say, speaking of burning green, we have a guest tonight by the name of GTI Ben Kenobi.
GTI Ben.
And he will explain his Forerunner issues.
Uh-oh.
Are you saying now, Brent?
Yeah, he's coming in.
Cool.
He's probably not ready, so it might be a little bit of a surprise. There he is.
Look. He looks very cheery. There's the smile.
Hello.
Hey, did you join us today because you're trying to get your battery terminal cover back for your GTI?
Nope.
Yes.
Because it just sheds parts like a comet re-entering from space.
I lost one of the belly pan bolts, so that's not far from the truth.
Belly pan? Is that like the transfer case?
No, it's like literally the plastic
splash shield.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Mark V had 3 out of 8 on it when I sold it.
I'll be real. You just buy like a 10-pack of those on Amazon, and you just don't worry about
it. The Street Shield came with an extra set of them, so
ECS was like, yeah, we know you're gonna lose these. Don't worry.
And they also have like the tabs with the threaded insert.
All right. Yep, you're gonna lose these too. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, so look, Ben, we've seen. I'll text it to Brent, but we've seen a picture of when your latest acquisition. I thought it looked kind of marooned on a beach, but I was wondering if you could maybe tell us the story of that picture. I'm going to send it to Brent so you can share it. Yeah. So just tell us about your first. Is it your first 4-wheel drive adventure with that car?
Yeah.
Well, tell us all about it.
So, I live in an area that's not too far from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. It's about a 2.5-hour drive. And one of the things you can do there is drive on the beach in various places. There's Corova Beach in the north, which goes from Corolla to the Virginia-North Carolina border. There's also Hatteras State Park, which is like Kill Devil Hills in south. There's Ocracoke Island, which is you have to take a ferry to get there, all the way down at the southern end of the Outer Banks. It's actually quite beautiful. But yeah, after Labor Day in Corova Beach, you do not need to have a permit to park on the beach. You can drive through without a permit. You just can't park because there are houses, like 4x4 access only houses, that's the only way you can get there because you have the Currituck Sound on one side and the Atlantic Ocean on the other.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a helicopter, you can't get there.
Yeah.
And I took.
So happen to have.
Yeah, my spare helicopter.
Yeah, spare.
Yes, I have a Sikorsky in my backyard. But yeah, I took the 4Runner all the way up to the North Carolina-Virginia border.
Nice.
So did you the 4Runner? Did you have to replace one of the axle boots or something like that?
It was cheaper to replace the entire front axle.
Okay. So you did that. So your 4-wheel drive, just as the background, the 4-wheel drive is fully functional.
Oh yeah, no, the 4-wheel drive worked before I replaced the axle. It's just
I'm just giving people background, because you're about to go beaching. So
only one of the axles is FUBAR now, but
that's okay. You got lots of axles.
It doesn't leak grease, so we're good there.
So tell us about this day. So I sent Brent the picture. He'll get it up in a minute. But so you actually
I'm just waiting for the story to hit. So no, for the story to hit.
Oh, okay, yes, okay. So tell us about the lead up to the picture.
There wasn't really much drama.
Come on, man! You're on television. Event drama.
Oh yeah. So I learned. I was pondering over what pressure to air my tires down to.
Oh, this is an important detail. Tell us.
Yeah, no, there is a law. If you're above 20 psi and you get towed out, you get a fine because you didn't air down your tires enough. And it's like because when where the pavement ends and the sand begins, there is a 4-wheel drive tow truck sitting there ready to go out.
Just waiting for
that guy must make a killing with all the people who go with like their Ford Edges on their like eco-friendly tires.
I was gonna say, Steven, so when we get the Ford ready, nothing better doing it.
Well, I just want to tell you, by the way, I've discovered the Falcons tires are so old they were made in a country that doesn't exist anymore. And they are not eco-friendly, other than that they are like 28 years old. But go ahead. Sorry. Please continue your offering.
I think those tires have earned their carbon neutral now that they've been on this planet. Like,
so, honestly, Charlie, the fact that they hold air, they are still serving a purpose this many years later, even after Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore.
I'm mostly impressed, truly. Dry rot's a very real thing, and I'm shocked and yeah.
Just their Tigar brand. It's like Tiger, but with an A. Made in Yugoslavia. Anyway, so back to the beach. So when you were driving on a beach, I've always kind of wondered this. I can notice in your picture, which you will eventually see someday, that you're sort of driving on sort of the harder packed sand that's kind of nearish the ocean.
Yeah. So
that's the place to be, but you don't want to get too close to the ocean, but you don't want to be too far from it because then you end up sort of beached, kind of like you did.
Correct.
Okay.
So the key to driving there is to go at low tide, and I arrived 30 minutes before low tide. So
okay, perfect.
There was a lot of, there was obviously like the beach that like was just uncovered, but like a few because I'm trying to remember the almanac dates or times. It was high tide at like 8:30 in the morning, and it was low tide at 3 in the afternoon, and I got there at like 2:15 or so. So there's like the not so like the wet but not so wet sand that's packed. Mm-hmm. That's decent to drive on, but you won't like spray all of the salt on your frame.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that at the end, by the way. I have a note.
What, salt spray?
No, what you do after you get home to mitigate that, but that's later.
Talking about it now.
Ryobi pressure washer.
I was gonna say, so it sounds like it was a really good trip, and it sounds like maybe you learned a lot of new stuff that we're all certainly curious about. As
There it is.
hey, I was like, oh no, did I lose my connection? What the hell? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, you're a little deep in the rough there. Is what I'm seeing.
Just a little.
Just a little.
It didn't help that you see how the tailgate's down. I sat there and ate my peanut butter sandwich.
Awesome.
Nice.
And my 235-pound self kind of dug into the sand. And also the shocks are all blown on all four corners.
Nice.
I hit the bump stops quite a few times.
But it's like
So-
$5 to replace them, right?
$9 a corner.
That's even cheaper than the Mustang, dude. I didn't know that was possible.
I think they're Monroe. I think it's Monroe that are $9. Yeah, but you spend like $50 to ship them from Rock Auto. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
say it's
never
not
got my
bad.
axle from them.
Hmm.
But that's besides the point. So yes, it does look like I'm stuck. But harness the power of floor low
There you go.
and giving or having that 3VZ V6 give all 130 horsepower that it has left.
Well, the good news is it's low torque, so it's not going
All 180 foot-pounds.
yeah, you don't gotta
'Cause
work
it-
on wheel spin.
Fun fact, that engine has an indicated red line of 5,500, but I can never get it to shift higher than 4,300.
Mm.
I'm not sure I'd push it. It's a kind
Yeah.
of old car.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
so
Did you have to back out of this position or did you go forward?
nope. I just
just popped it and rolled.
put it in neutral, put it in floor low,
Yeah.
drive, and I gave her the beans, and it spun the tires, but
Nice.
I didn't dig a hole any deeper than that. And I like
Yeah.
this. I like this picture because it hides the fact, or somewhat hides the fact, that the hood and roof are completely fake. Well, I guess you can see it, but
No. Don't say something negative about that. Your hood and your roof, they're molting. It's like a bird growing or a caterpillar or something. It's
The good
becoming
news is at
greater than
least
it's a
itself.
It's
snake
one
molting
color?
its shell.
What'd you say, Charlie?
So at least it's one color.
Yes.
There's a little brown on the tailgate, but
And you got some chrome mirrors. Is that stock?
yes,
Okay.
they're actually plastic chrome. But
Nice. I mean, the fact that they're all in one piece still.
So
oh
is
yeah,
that tailgate? Is that a two-way tailgate? Does it open like a door and a flap, or is it just a flap?
no, unfortunately, it doesn't.
So it's not like a mid-'80s American
Yeah.
station wagon.
No, the Lexus GX has the barn door, so well, it only opens sideways,
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
and the Land Cruiser has the clamshell tailgate,
hmm
which I really like. I think the BMW X5 and the Range Rover are the only other cars I can think of. That have-
BMW X5, is that the one that Jeremy Clarkson drove on a mildly wet hill and it couldn't go up the hill? It was like a grassy, mildly damp hill. It's when they
Was-
first came out.
Think so.
Sounds
It was just
right.
it was just
Yeah,
going
X5
fast.
is
That
actually
sounds
a
like
fair-
it sounds like a Clarkson thing to do with it.
It's actually a fairly capable off-roader. It's just it comes with summer tires.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's when it first came out or something. There may have been a quirk about it, but it was the saddest thing I had ever seen in terms of off-roading. I don't remember. I think it was the X5. I always like how those looked, though.
I did.
Um,
Oh yeah, Charlie, you'll appreciate this. I saw a first-gen Touareg while I was out there.
Nice.
Oh.
Presumably not with the TDI engine.
Not the V10 TDI.
Oh, bummer. Those are. I mean, if you see one of those, you just gotta like stop and take a photo.
Yes,
Now, right?
I saw one like in the DC area. I'm like, how is this thing still running?
There's a. Speaking of that era of Volkswagen, which was like truly the like weird, like we're just gonna make the super luxury German cheap cars. Like I don't know why, but
W8 Passat.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's actual proper Phaeton running around town,
Hmm.
and every time I see it, I'm just like, how?
There's one when I went to UVA when I was still in school, parked behind Old Cabell Hall. There was a Phaeton with the W12.
Yep.
And
I have
think
I have
it's probably the same one, to be honest. It's no, I
Was it-
think
was it
Probably
black?
because I
there's only like one or two, and it's always driven by like an old white dude. Like it's like probably a professor.
This is probably the exact same car.
It's probably the same one.
I was
can't
gonna say, I
imagine-
remember a silver
Somehow.
one.
The one I'm thinking of was, I think, a dark color, like maybe like a blue or black. But then again, my
What
color,
I'm thinking of is
my
black.
color.
I'm bitter. I'm horribly bitter against the first generation Touareg, and it's because at the time that was what, early 2000s, I think,
Yeah.
maybe. So I had a stick shift turbo Beetle at the time, and I was going to the dealer for whatever reason, right? And I pull in and I'm like, where is everyone? And there's like no one there. I'm like waiting for like 20 minutes. There's not another human being there. And I forgot why I was there. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And I out of the corner of my eye, I look over sort of out of the service exit. There's like a little covered area and like a little service pull through. And there's like 8 people staying there, hovered around this Touareg. And at first I resented that the Touareg existed. But then I'm like, what's going on? Like, I've been waiting here forever. There's no one even acknowledging my presence. It's very weird for a car dealer. So I go over there, and there's 8 male dudes just trying to work on this Touareg, and they're all working on the passenger front seat because it's the power seat isn't working or something. And the owner is a like wayfish supermodel girl in a cheetah pattern tight short skirt. And I'm like, fuck Touaregs and fuck y'all. I'm a customer too. They basically ignored me because there was a hot chick there and her power seat wouldn't work.
If you were going to say the driver's side, I would have been like, did the battery die? Because the battery is under the driver's seat in the first gen Touareg.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. So there's 2
Wow.
batteries in the first gen Touareg. There is one in the engine bay, and then there's one in the cab underneath the driver's seat.
Is it smaller or something like that? Is it for accessories or?
No, it
One
is.
starts at one's for their electronics.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's
Yes.
like a BMW 7 Series.
Like it's a known,
No, it's not.
like it's a known headache and heartache. Like I think to the point where like people would get rid of them because they're like, I don't know what's wrong, it just keeps dying, and like they wouldn't take it to a dealer, so
Yeah.
dealers like they're just like, whatever, get rid of the car.
Well,
And the-
Charlie, the trick is if you had one, Charlie, you'd have to wear a cheetah print short skirt, and then all they would do, they would give you attention.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say no to Touareg. I probably would.
I'll say this: the second gen Touareg is actually a really good vehicle,
I mean,
but because the first gen was so bad, they should have changed the name of the second gen Touareg. Like the 3.0 TDI, people love their 3.0 TDI Touaregs, and they came with the VR6, the 3.6.
I just want the R50 Touareg, which is the 5-liter
Yes.
special edition only in Europe.
How's it going, Brent?
Yeah. Look,
They're just
look,
gonna keep going. If we can get my buddy
They
Justin
will.
in here too, the 3
Yeah.
of them would be like,
Yeah, it's cool. We start our own super nerdy bullshit.
hey, no one's ever done that
Our
before,
trio
Charlie.
of
Two
check
two
engines.
video podcasts at the same time. No one's ever done that. Like,
That sounds like a bad.
just-
There's
it's
a
really
reason
hard to pay
a
attention because
reason
there's
why.
all these people talking.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a reason why. Yep.
So, question for you, Ben Kenobi. Did you have a fear of being that guy when you were at the beach? You know, you say you go there for when it's low tide or whatever. Were you afraid of being that guy who gets stuck where then the tide comes back in and your car is 300 feet offshore and you slowly watch it dissolve into a pile of rust?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Because there were
Next,
so many people. There were so many people there, and I had a tow strap, I had a shovel, and I had a jack and a cinder block.
And you believed in yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
For once, I
Next,
did.
salt mitigation. You drove a Toyota, which is known for falling into a pile of
The
cornflakes-sized rust flakes
Japanese
on the
built
ground.
Toyota.
Well, my point is that you took something you care about into a salt paste grip on everything gets stuck everywhere place. How did you mitigate that when you get home? I mean, you'd have to spray every square inch of the underside of that thing, right?
I mean, I just went to the local car wash that had a pressure washer. Went to the high pressure rinse or whatever it's called.
I was
Laid
gonna
on
say,
and everyone was looking at me like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Like I was laying on my back underneath and just spraying it
Yep.
all over the place.
You got to get the sprinkler on a stick situation with the wheels underneath.
Yes,
of it.
I need the pressure washer attachment.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that's the jam. I mean, also just a sprinkler. Just like literally, I've heard of people taking like the old school like single.
Oh,
family.
those. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Charlie, we got to talk later, man. I know we're doing a podcast right now, but let's forget about these guys for a second. I'm kidding. There is a podcast called Technology Connections that you have to start watching, or I will disown you. And they have an entire episode about the sprinkler and the mechanism to make it go back. It is fascinating. I'm going to send you a link, and you have to subscribe to this channel. All of you should subscribe to this channel. Now we can resume talking about Toyotas.
And I took and I also took the inner fender liners off and sprayed in there.
Nice.
Okay.
I mean,
as a classic car person, I'm thinking,
Steven, I think you're worrying about it too much from a like keep a car forever situation. I think what you have to accept is that it's a Toyota from the 90s, and like if it hasn't dissolved yet, like no matter what you do, like you can't stop it from dissolving. And like you are doing the best job you can. And like it's a Toyota from the 90s, so like you can take it through an auto car wash with like proper big scrubbers and like high power, like if you're not worried about your seals or whatever, just pop in and be like, oh yeah, like 5 minutes in the car wash, like with the underbody treatment. Don't mind if
it's not 100% rust free, but the frame, it has like spots.
Yeah.
It's not Swiss cheese though. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and also too, like they actually dip those unibodies in at the factory, and they drive them through the pool of primer and stuff, so it goes to every internal little cranny and everything, unlike the 1960s. Charlie, just so you need to know, this is, in case you need to see it, this is the first hypergolic propellant rocket engine used for human flight. Brent was curious about it earlier. It's the Walter 109-509A. I think Brent earlier theorized it was the 508B. It's actually the 509A. I
was thinking D, but whatever.
I just
they didn't even tell us.
Still a little disappointed in you, Brent, to get that wrong.
What aircraft to go in?
Yeah,
I'll keep shouting until he hears me.
Oh, what's going on?
What aircraft did it go into?
Well, I know it's at the Luftwaffe Museum in Berlin-Gottkau. It's probably that little stubby little bird thing they would like launch to go up to get bombers. It was like, then it would glide back horribly. It's basically a suicide mission to try to kill bombers.
Messerschmitt. Let's not go down that route anymore. Let's next.
A separate podcast.
Nope. That's in a museum. It can stay in a museum.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah. Oh, Brent. We haven't talked to Brent nearly enough. Brent, what did you see at the gas station this week and last week?
I love this as a recurring segment.
Honestly,
it's our only one.
Right now they're filming something over there. Oh well, behind the gas station, but
that is so LA.
It better be Hobbs and Shaw too. I'm just saying.
No, it's not.
Or what's the one with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith?
You're
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys 4, maybe.
4?
No, I believe they're done with that. This last one that just came out.
I was gonna say there's not another.
Plus, they film in Miami anyways, so.
Hey, they could move around. They
actually film in Miami.
Yeah,
they do. Cool. I mean, I guess why not?
Yep.
They got money.
Exactly.
So I found the lamest new old stock part for the Falcon underneath its front seat randomly in a box. It's just a little teacup looking collar that goes on the steering column that rotates as you move the gear shifter. Really exciting. Super exciting. I need more Brent time though. I want more Brent time. Brent, tell us about something.
Well,
is this a Fireside Chat?
Actually,
I've done that in a while.
I sent you guys the picture over the weekend of the new BRZ.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I got pissed off at Jalopnik. Charlie knows all about that one.
You just got to know they're out there trying to make like a hot take that gets picked up, and they're just pushing everybody's buttons now. It's great.
I haven't read their stuff in probably 6 months, and I probably won't open up another link to them for another year, if
That's
not
fine.
more.
Yeah.
Man, some of the things that they have stated was no new engine. It's basically just the facelift, and that's it.
Yeah, which is
In which 2017 they did a facelift for it on there. This one, let's see, an entire new rear end, side windows, brand new. They are different compared to what they used to be. They look different. New front end. Oh, guess what? New engine. I mean, the only thing that might be similar or the same would be the chassis that everything bolts to, and that's it.
The engine is it's from the other Subaru, right? So it's like isn't it like a 2.4 and it's like 240 horsepower, 270 pounds of torque.
Supposedly, but we haven't heard exactly what it's going to be yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's supposed to
that's
be
a hell
the
of a combo, man.
FA24, but
Dude, you know it'll get a little heavier, right, Brent? Just a touch probably with that engine, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, like,
I don't know.
even if it stays close to the weight that it was, let's say 150 pounds
Yeah.
more with that engine, dude. Oh my God, what a cool car, dude.
I mean,
Wow.
if anybody looks up, what was it? Subi Fest out here in California, they had where you could walk up to the booth and it's just the car is in there, but it's behind a black see-through tarp. So like you can kind of get a gist of everything, but you still can't. Plus, on top of that, the car is under camo wrap as well, so you can't see all the body lines. But I'm actually very excited to see what this actually ends up.
Oh, I love it, man. I even like the camo finish. I mean, I know that the
yeah.
Super had also had a cool finish like that too. They made a good choice in camo.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if everything looks as I am picturing it right now, there might be another car in the garage.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, that's right up your alley, dude.
So
nice.
I don't know.
And
We'll
honestly, if they do use that engine, y'all, is that turbocharged already? That's NA.
4 was,
Yeah,
but I'm sure you could do an NA.
No, I'm not trying to make it NA. I'm saying like if in whatever car it's in now, I forgot which model it is. If it's probably like
that.
Is it like it's got to be a mild turbo if it's got that much torque, right? Only 2.4 liters.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you is I'm hoping it is a turbo.
I believe it is a turbocharged engine currently in the Ascent, but
it could be NA in this car, is what you're saying.
Okay. Exactly, just like the FA20 for the BRZ, they use it in the WRX, but it's turboed.
But even in an NA state, it's look. I love the BRZ FRS. I had zero problem. People say it's not enough power. That's most of those people have never driven one, and they've certainly never driven one in anger because they are glorious. My only thing was they had like 156 pounds of torque. Give me at least 180 or something. So do you think, Brent, in your experience, that this car is going to be in like the upper 100s for torque if it's NA?
It should be.
That's all that car needed for me was like 30 pounds of torque, and I would be like all over it, man. I loved those things. Just loved it. Best driving position ever.
I have a feeling that it'll probably be 225 horsepower and low 200s torque.
Oh, that could be this next car purchase is shaping up to be really weird for me. The 3 to 4 year one, we're always looking, right? It's either going to be literally a base model Bronco stick shift 2-door, or it's going to be like a base model Tesla Model 3, or it's going to be a BRZ, or it could be a GTI.
Sounds like you need some refinement in there.
I'm keeping it wide open right now. We're still at the 3 to 4 year range.
Diversify those bonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of the Bronco would be just so much fun because it's a convertible, it's a stick shift, and it's 4-wheel drive. I've never
drive
had
on beaches with it.
I could, and it would not be a long-term keeper. So fuck the salt.
So Ben, after your adventure on the beach, are you now like fully in on like off-road? I dare say salt life.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Are you going to get the Salt Life sticker?
Yeah. So are we like?
I'll drive a Ford Raptor.
It says Slut Life, not Salt Life.
No comment.
Hey, look. Let everyone have their own choices about their bodies.
Brent, how is the corner by the gas station? I'm kidding. I'm just gonna hide behind my tea.
No shame in that.
To
Yeah,
answer
I
your
think
question, yeah, I'm not like full in rock crawling. Well, because I've never done that, but
let's say when,
the
where, I guess, is
the
more
whole
appropriate.
idea of just having a truck based SUV to me, I mean, just to be able to go anywhere at this point, because I've only ever owned cars before, like my Grand Marquis, the Mustang, and my two GTIs.
It's a whole new ball game for sure.
And I mean, I can definitely see myself at the next car purchase before the sports car. That's two purchases away. But I can see myself getting like a used Land Cruiser or a Lexus GX, something like that.
Yeah. Brent, with you being out in with your future plans as they sit currently, are you fully on, like, I know we talked before about how you're doing like a Tesla is in the cards, like soonish.
I don't know yet. Probably what will initially happen next, I would say probably within 2 months after actually moving.
Mhm.
I will probably get a new Crosstrek.
Cool.
I like those. You can get a stick shift
And
too, even
then-
on the medium trim.
Yeah, and then so we would have the Mini and the Crosstrek, and then get
big
rid
old
of
knobbies on it?
probably the Mini to get a Tesla Model Y. And then after that, it's just going to be whatever at that point.
McLaren.
Yeah, right.
Didn't the Crosstreks get a good power bump like for this year?
I think they stayed about the same. The one question I do have on it is I don't see the hybrid for 2021, so I'm not sure what's going on that side of things.
No, I thought they put the Forester's engine in the the 2.5 liter.
I'm not sure on that side because I know the only thing that I did notice more so was exterior wise was a facelift year for them.
2020, because my mom is looking to replace her 05 Pilot with close to 300,000 miles on it with something a little smaller because
Time
she
for
doesn't
an
have to
upgrade.
transport kids around.
Yep.
And the Crosstrek has always crossed her mind because she likes the wagon form
Mm-hmm.
and she likes the price, but she looked at the 140 horsepower that it came with. It was like, that's too slow for her.
I think it's more than that.
Use the internet. 152 to 182 horsepower. So they do offer the 2.5. Okay.
So those out there for any undecided people looking for truck shaped objects.
All right.
I
So your
don't-
base model and the per se premium have the 2-liter engine. Crosstrek Sport and Limited have the 2.5, which would be the 180 horsepower.
It really needed that bump because
Yeah,
before,
182.
because before I drove a friend's Crosstrek with the old 2-liter engine in the CVT, and that was borderline dangerously slow. Like there's slow, there's acceptable slow, like 9 seconds, 8.5, 9 seconds, 0 to 60. This thing didn't accelerate above 60. Like you had to plan your lane. You had to plan your lane changes, floor it, and hope for the best. It
Steven's
was
over there hitting the overdrive button.
that's what I have to do in the Forerunner. It's the same deal.
Oh no.
I got to tell you, one thing I'm really curious about is when the Falcon is actually drivable, what does a 3-speed automatic from 1965 with 100 horsepower and no overdrive. How does that do anything? Like, what is that going to be like on the interstate or something? You know, like
50 miles an hour.
Do you like drone? You're gonna get
I think
drone.
there could be some
You're
drone.
gonna get some drone. Just gonna throw it out there.
She's
You're gonna get some road noise. You're gonna get some drone. But you're gonna
When
get
you-
V8. Oh wait. You're gonna get
no, it's got a
inline
2JZ.
six
It's got a 2JZ.
Get some
the,
inline six sounds.
Yeah, it's like 680 horsepower, minus 580. And it's on the
50
low
horsepower.
boost setting, you know, the zero boost setting.
Yeah, it's on. It's on atmosphere.
It's on NA mode. No, but it's 230 pounds of torque or something, and it weighs 2,500 pounds. It'll move a little bit, but I have no idea what to expect. You know, we'll have to see.
RS swap.
RS swap.
No, I'm gonna put a Subaru Boxer engine in it naturally. I know where there's a nice abandoned Subaru in New York. I'm gonna steal the engine out of it.
Yep.
I'm gonna install at least 4 STI spoilers on the Falcon.
You like that?
Is the Falcon running?
Cars?
Oh wait, what'd you say?
Sorry.
I said like the scene from the Cars animated movie where they're like going down the highway and there's the base truck, the nitrous car, and then there's the car with like 30 spoilers.
Charlie, I once saw a I was in my friend's van. We were heading off to some Mustang show somewhere, and which happens, and we were at this light and we couldn't believe it. Coming the opposite direction to the light was like a Trans Am, like a Smokey and the Bandit type Trans Am, right? And I am not making this up. It had like 8 spoilers on it. Like there were little stubby ones. There's some vortex generators, and there was a spoiler at the back of the car that was, I think, there from the factory, and then there was another one on the roof, and there was one that they had crudely screwed to the front hood. And I did not have a camera on me, but it's like when you look at the sun and then you look away and you have that after image burned in your cornea.
Yeah.
So many spoilers.
What page of the JC Whitney catalog did you get that from? Yes.
All pages.
He went to AutoZone.
That aisle.
And he never left the aisle. He just said, "All of this is coming with me."
You know, Brent did that once. He got stuck and he didn't leave until he had the Tweety Bird rubber floor mats, you know, that they have on that aisle.
Oh, I had to get the Tasmanian Devil steering wheel cover.
Yes.
I mean,
I
and
won't
the
know.
Yosemite Sam mud
The
flaps.
spinner hubcaps.
Walmart
friend
used to
with
have
those in
15-inch
high school.
spinner plastic hubcaps.
I definitely had a friend in high school with those. It was
I
And of course-
unironically want a flame steering wheel cover for the 4Runner.
Nah, you need a Ford one.
The Mustang has a Ford one.
perfect.
That's because someone tried to spray paint its steering wheel and it like ran.
Big cringe.
Super
Oh, man.
cringe. Well, do you guys want to wrap it? Or are you good, or what's up?
Yep.
All right.
I was gonna say on that note.
Don't.
On that
spray
note,
your steering wheels.
let's recap what we talked about. We now have a thorough understanding of Brent's inadequate knowledge of hypergolic World War II era human-rated flight engines.
Human-rated.
Ben
Term.
wishes he had a Mustang instead of a 4Runner to go on the beaches. Charlie is getting rid of the 2-door GTI to get something more practical and environmentally friendly, like a Suburban, new model, not some old crap. And it turns out that I am the coolest person ever. And with that, I want to thank you all. Like, comment, subscribe. We are on Spotify, which is what the kids use, and
Is that Three Truths and a Lie?
iTunes, which is what the boomers use. Thank you for joining us, GTI Ben Kenobi.
Yes. Special guest tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for talking
We'll
about
see
it.
y'all later.